I'll let you pick. So we can either do the BevTree thing, or we can do expired patents, or we could do the TikTok China factory thing. Which one is most interesting to you?
So either BevTry or expired patents. Let's do BevTry really quickly. I don't think there's too much of a takeaway here, but I think it's one of these things that may, if you're operating a company, this may actually be interesting to you. So a lot of the time when you create a product, you go and you create a product, and then after you think, how do I market this product? BevTry was a really interesting inversion of that. So I was in Toronto recently. I'm at a friend's house, and they're like, you want a drink? And I'm like, yeah, sure. What do you have? And they're like, open the fridge. And I look, and there's just like a dozen plus of different types of drinks, but only one of each. And I'm like, Alicia, like, why do you have like one seltzer, one cider, one type of beer? And she goes, oh, it's because of BevTry. Have you heard of BevTry? And I go, no. And basically, really, really simple acquisition tactic. You give them your number, you give BevTry your phone number, and then they text you. You're on some text list where they say, hey, do you want our next alcohol drop? And they literally just show up at your house and give you free alcohol, which I was like, no, like this can't be true. Are you paying for this? Are they like selling your data? And she goes, no, they just give me free alcohol. And I'm like, how many times have they done this? She's like, they've done it like 4 times. And basically it's similar to something like a BlockFi where you can even work your way up a list if you start referring other users. So I think they have this massive list of users. The reason I find this one especially interesting is because, one, I think they actually get the alcohol for free. That's why it's all like disjointed. You're not getting a 6-pack, you're getting one of this new drink that some brand is launching. But I also think it's really interesting because they have 0 product today, as in they, as a company, BevTry, so far are not selling anything, but you can kind of see little glimpses of it in the app. So she opened the app and, I was like, oh, let me see this. And you can see that they're going to add new products. It almost looks like one of these super apps that you would find in Southeast Asia or something where, they're probably going to sell you some food. They're probably going to come up with their own alcohol brand. Who knows what they're going to do with this? But I, again, thought it was really interesting because most of the time you create a product and then you market the hell out of that product. And for some companies like Uber or HelloFresh, they're splurging so much money on acquiring these users. And I just thought this was, again, a really interesting inversion where, hold up, what if we actually just figure out the easiest way to attract a large mass of people? And then we're going to figure out the product after. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but that's the BevTry story.
Yeah, I think there's some good and some bad in that. So the some good is usually there's a lag time while you're like waiting for your product to be built, or it takes time to like get your formulations right, or you're waiting for the engineer to make the app or whatever it is. And like you can either sit on your ass and do nothing, or you can actually like go and build your customer list, ideally with an experience that is similar to what your product is. So they get to kind of sample it manually before it's like available full time. So I like that. The downside is, let's assume, I don't know, would you know what the actual product is going to be for BevTry? Is it going to be a subscription for drinks? Is it going to be...
I have no idea. I don't even know,
delivery?
Candidly, if they know. I mean, they probably do have some sort of strategy there, but so far there's nothing in the app that indicates what they're going to sell.
Okay, fair enough. So we don't know. We don't know what it is. But the risk is you can build a big interested customer list with samples and tips and tricks of marketing, but the big risk for most startups is that you don't have product market fit, meaning you're actually not building something that somebody wants, they're willing to pay for, and they're going to keep using it. And so you're kind of working on the wrong problem in a way. You may only need 100 customers to find out if you have product market fit, or 1,000 customers, and you're sitting here trying to build a 10,000 person, 100,000 person list, and you're going to go to them with the wrong product. The other thing is that these lists are perishable. So I've had many, many wait lists. And for every week that the wait list goes by, another half of the people on the list forgot what they signed up for and don't care. And so you're like, oh, we have this. At one point, I had a 1 million person wait list for an app that we were building. And because I had this viral video, blah, blah, blah. So 1 million people on the list. By the time we actually went and hit them up, it's like, I don't even remember what it was, but it was something pitiful, like, 10,000 or 20,000 people who actually like tried the thing. And it's like, oh, 10,000, 20,000, I could have just paid $10,000 and got that through direct marketing, and they would have actually like been maybe my perfect target market. And so, this 1 million person list didn't actually turn out to be that useful. I've seen this many times. Every wait list decays in value over time. So I would say that's like the downside. But in general, you have to decide how you're going to build your company. Is it product first? Is it audience first? That's like, let's say for me, I built an audience first, and then I can launch things like a course or a book or whatever. It's easy then because I have an audience. You could build it community first. You build a community like, trends or whatnot. And so you have to decide, it could be partnership first. You sign some big licensing deal or distribution deal with someone who has big reach, and that's your first move. And then after that, you go build the product. It's not so bad. And so I think all these can work, but it's good to be intentional and not try to do all of them. If you try to do all of them, you're going to split your focus. And so, that's kind of my thoughts on that strategy.
No, I think that's spot on. I think you're totally right that these are absolutely going to decay, these types of lists, and you don't have the same kind of like intentionality in the way that you're acquiring customers because they want free alcohol. You don't know what else they want on top of that. I think one kind of parallel to this, which I think probably a lot of people know, is just you're almost doing arbitrage of like, let me find these big companies that have alcohol that they want other people to know about. They're going to give me the alcohol for free. I'm going to use this to acquire customers at basically no cost. Another parallel business that does this is subscription boxes. So a lot of people think subscription boxes are, you're buying a bunch of product at scale and then you're for margin on top of that selling it to other people. Well, actually a lot of subscription boxes just get their products for free because these companies want to be in it. So anyway, I think that's just a kind of a parallel business approach.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good to see these patterns because you can figure out how to apply it.